please give me just one more chance for love, 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 love.
Yo, Bash, you been tripping on them hoes. Oh, please give me just one more chance for love, love, oh, please give me just one more chance for love, love, oh, please give me just one more chance for love, You gave me things you didn't need
You been tripping on them hoes.
Burn live, y'all marijuana keeping y'all connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers I red, keeping underage smoking off social media, killing ourselves for your entertainment. Oh my God, I still ain't got everything hooked up, but everything's going good. Everything's sounding right. I appreciate everybody up in here. Like I said, marijuana keeping y'all connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers. I read keeping underage smoking on social media. I appreciate everybody coming up in here. We will be bringing y'all marijuana news every day, all day. Anytime I go live, we're gonna be bringing y'all marijuana news. I do appreciate people coming up in here. We have been getting serious. We've been getting down to the nitty gritty of things that are actually happening in today's world. 3, 4 states getting legalized, some states getting recreational, some states are actually going the opposite direction. And yes, people that didn't think that states can go in the opposite direction for as getting legalized down to get decriminalized to getting it taken away, there are states that's actually happening. And then that brings us to good stories. We also got good stories, but that brings us to the story that we're going to bring up today or coming up to us. It's one of the largest Missouri owners crop places in Missouri. It feels good to get these weed stories. Ooh, this 40 minutes long, so we might not get through all of this. We might not get through all of this, but we'll be getting through most majority of this. I appreciate bringing y'all these stories. Y'all appreciate the stories. Hit the like, subscribe button so we can get into this.
Easy? It's not.
Cannabis is all brand new, so everything we've learned by trial and error all the way through it.
And we have changed the lives of, I have total goosebumps right now talking about this. We have changed the lives of so many people here.
We're at Flora Farms in Missouri, the largest cannabis cultivator in the state. Let's head inside.
I grew up on a 750-acre farm. I never really liked it that much. I didn't like getting up early, but I learned a lot of good things. Learned how to work hard and a lot of common sense from being around equipment and animals and plants. I got out of farming and I found out there are easier things to do than putting up hay and driving a tractor. And then 50 years later, now I'm back in it.
I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but it did happen, something like that. Some friends of ours, including Daryl, are involved in a cannabis project in Oklahoma. When Missouri voters voted for medical marijuana, I think in 2018, they recommended we look at it over here, and it just kind of left from there.
4 years from 2018, Missouri now passed another constitutional amendment to make it adult use legal.
And that's just changed everything.
See, I'm proud to say that I'm glad they did get information from Oklahoma, knowing the facts that Oklahoma is having problems with becoming medical and recreational with all the problems and troubles and trafficking they do have going on over there. So I'm appreciative that they did reach out to Missouri and showed them like, hey, this is something that you should invest in. Now, a lot of people are going to say, what about the small people? What about the small farmers, the in-house growing people? And I can understand that and I respect that. But yet again, with everybody growing weed in a house, it's going to be a little bit of the point of where it comes abusive. And everybody's going to have weed and not enough people going to be able to explore and develop and share the weed with everybody.
A world that used to have 200,000 customers and now probably has 2 million.
And it happened almost overnight. We're selling a little more than 3 times the pounds that we were before in 2022.
And that's our big challenge right now. The supply and demand price curve has moved all over the place. It's moved again. And now we have to adjust to a world where supply is going to be a little short. And that's why we're sitting in this soon-to-be new building.
This building that you're seeing here, it's 60,000 square feet, which is the same size as that building down the far end. And our first building was just a little smaller, but roughly 180,000 square feet total. Well, once this building is done, we will have over $40 million of capital invested. And These buildings, our other dispensaries, we have a manufacturing license. This business is really expensive and a very hard business. I've been in a lot of businesses in my background. This might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Late last year, Mark Henry and I were talking. I said, I think we really need to get access to a sounding board of consultants. Cannacribs came up as one of the prospects. So far, it's been going great. Bud, our head grower, is looking forward to the advice and the synergies that can come from talking to somebody that sees a lot of grow operations across the United States.
We've done multiple Zoom meetings with the Cannacribs consulting team, and they work one-on-one. They email, they text. They really are there to kind of help you out. It's not about just trying to get the most information out of someone. It's what are your problems? What can I really help you with? And they're always there. It seems like to really get to us. And at any point, we can call and have a meeting even the same day. Sometimes even right away. They'll say, "Oh, jump on it. Let's get some video. Let's get this fixed." So that's really honestly been very helpful. So Phil and Juan and all the guys over there have been really helpful to us.
One of the reasons we're here in the first place is when the application process started several years ago with Missouri, one of the goals was to try to help some of the areas of the state that had high unemployment were struggling. And so that's why we're here. There's about 200 people that work here now.
We think of all of our employees as part of our family. Carla came up with this name, Flora Fam, which we think of everybody as family. We love all of them. But blood relatives, we have several of those in this business. A lot of joy.
Economy, there are weed shops.
The proliferation of these stores over the last 2 years, you've walked by them, Carol.
I have.
Sometimes we walk by like trucks that are selling weed and it's like out in the open and they're not actually like selling it. They're just like allowed to. It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's had an unexpected consequence for banks and real estate owners. Many are now intertwined in the cannabis business. Another story.
Who thought this was going to happen? I mean, come on. Of course it was going to happen.
Well, I don't think that the policymakers who legalized marijuana in 2021 at the state level thought that this was going to happen. They had arguably the best intentions. They wanted to create a process that would allow people who were harmed by the war on drugs to be the first people to benefit from the ability to make money off of selling legal marijuana. However, they legalized the product in 2021 and then took almost 2 years to set up a system by which people could legally sell it. In the meantime, we had a pandemic that destroyed a lot of retail outlets and created an opportunity for unlicensed marijuana.
The cannabis industry grew so fast and so rapidly and so abruptly that they want to say that lawmakers and banks didn't have time to sit there and come up with a plan. That's hard to believe. That's hard to digest, thinking that a company took took 2 to 3 years after they got legalized to find out what did they want to do to get this stuff regulated. I'm sorry. If I know that you finna start a business, y'all, I know y'all finna start selling ashtrays at $5, and I know it's a hot commodity. This is one of the newest things popping. I am going to find a way to get a bank to sponsor it. And if the bank is not going to sponsor it, this is the question. The bank's not going to sponsor it. Then where is the money going? When people say the money's going here, the money's going there, is where is technically the money go? Banks, they saying third party banks. That means USA Bank, your typical banks, Wells Fargo's banks is not accepting marijuana and dispensaries to come up in there. So where is the money going? And you hear this all over the place. And to hear that this is happening in New York City, one of the number one places for tourism. So that means a lot of people coming up there chilling, enjoying themselves, going out to eat, getting a couple of things to drink, going to see a play, going to see a movie or something. And then they sit up in here and they smoke weed. I'm like, okay, cool. But where is that money? I think we should find out for everything, not just marijuana, but it needs to be for everything. Marijuana is just because this is the industry that I chose to be in for, as streaming, news, covering, and want a better explanation and a better excuses for what's going on. I appreciate everything that they're telling us, but some of this just doesn't add up. And when I mean it doesn't add up, y'all see how I see. Y'all looking at what I'm looking at. You know, New York's been smoking weed
Sellers
for
to
a
move
while.
into storefronts all across the city. There's an estimated 2,000 of them across the 5 boroughs and at least 450 of them in Manhattan alone.
Is this stuff just tolerated though? I mean, unlicensed used to mean like, okay, you're unlicensed, so you can't do that. If you're an unlicensed driver, you're not supposed to drive.
Right. Well, it's complicated. There are very few laws left on the books at the state level that make possession or sale of marijuana criminal in any way. So there's an elaborate legal process that the city and state have to go through in order to try to evict an unlicensed marijuana seller. And in the meantime, the sellers are sort of operating with impunity.
So basically, you've got landlords who have unlicensed weed shops, and then you guys did an analysis.
Yeah.
And then you got J.P. Morgan Chase and Co., Signature Bank, and New York Community Bank had at least 25 mortgages to pot shop landlords, according to public records.
Yes.
And so, we don't know who knew what, right? But nonetheless, you have this illegal stores exposing the financial community in a big way.
Right. So marijuana is still illegal at the federal level, even though it is legal to use at the state level in more than 25 states, I believe, at this point. And so that exposes the landlords who de facto have these unlicensed pot shops in their buildings and their mortgage holders, these large federal banks in some cases, to all of the liability that entails when you have an illegal operation happening in a storefront.
I'm gonna have a grandchild before they figure out like the financial system,
This-
like
before the Safe Banking Act passes?
Yes,
Yeah,
like this
I
is
think so.
crazy, right?
But she making, and I'm glad that she's like the hype person of this show, and letting you understand, like, once the feds put their little money on it, which you already know, most states getting 10% to 13% taxes on marijuana. But once the feds get their 13% tax on it, and that becomes legal through the feds, like alcohol and pills and anything else that you come out with, that's the part where we'll be good. But before they do that, and I think this is one of the problems, and people are not really paying attention and seeing. One of the problems is they don't want to federalize it like that for federal gain, is for the simple fact it's in everybody's home. It's going to be in all your homes. So therefore, you need to really think about it and slow down and be happy that the feds are not taking over, because that means that the feds are going to be legalized and able to come into your home and search your crib. Now, everybody with kids already be like, oh man, my kids, and I'm scared that DFS and all of these people gonna come into my home. Right. You already scared that that's gonna happen, that the police are gonna take your kids. Now, if the feds are able to tax you and come into your home and take your kids because of marijuana usage, you're gonna be upset. You're going to think that's a problem. You're going to run a protest and do all these of above. So therefore, you might want to think about it and be like, you know what? Hold on. Maybe it's not time for the feds to come in here and tax. Maybe we need to find another outcome, another source to get us taxed on this. Maybe the feds, maybe think about this, y'all. Maybe the feds don't want to get involved. Maybe we should not have the feds involved, because it's going to turn a lot of more cases and back into federal cases. And people are already, man, we shouldn't lock black people up. We shouldn't lock people up and give them cases of hard crimes. You got people vandalizing cars, kill cars, and you don't want to arrest them. So why do you want to arrest people for marijuana charges, which you got people stealing pounds and tons of people's marijuana, and that's a main good reason of why you want to steal, lock people up and maybe give them a charge that lets them understand that, hey, you know what I'm saying, it's not good to be a criminal. Just maybe, this might be a good reason. But yet again, I have been thinking about it for a couple of days, and I'm kind of understanding that yes, you just might not want the feds involved with legalizing marijuana, because then you're giving them the opportunity to more come in your home and evade your privacy and do all of this. So yes, you see what I'm saying? You see where it's kind of going. It's kind of going down that episode of like, yeah, okay, yeah. They're taking their time. You know what? You can keep taking your time, but yet again, as they are taking their time, just let me know, where are the money going that getting taxed on some of these products. So I try to bring y'all news that hasn't been covered at least within 7 to 6 days. You know what I'm saying? Give or take. Spread some news out there for you guys. Got another one.
High in the hills of Oaxaca State, South Mexico, the community of San Pablo Huila thought a revolution was coming. In 2017, cannabis was legalized in Mexico for medicinal use. Here they've always grown it, Farmer Olegario tells me. but illegally.
Before, we had to do it in secret, and it was very risky because the soldiers came to destroy the crops.
They thought that with the government's decree things would change. They began refining their crops to meet the requirements for legal medical cannabis. But the communities run into a big problem. That legalization happened under the last administration. Now, they say the current one simply won't issue them licenses.
We feel offended. We've put all our effort into this, and the government hasn't done its part. They've asked us for a lot of permissions and forms, and we've done it all, and they haven't fulfilled their side of the bargain.
They're currently grown with personal consumption permits. Many producers in Oaxaca, a poor, mainly indigenous state, are in the same position. More have applied.
Now, what'd be crazy, or what'd be factual and real? It doesn't matter however you want to look at it. But what'd be crazy if all that legalization in Mexico that's happening is through the help of America? Come on now. Because I've heard stories about Mexico all the time and their problems of, of why people come over here to America. So we're not going to play that game and act like they were stupid and stuff like that. But forming legal licensed weed has to come from somewhere. That help has to come from somewhere. And I'm just under the influence that help is coming from over here in America. Because why? Those are our neighbors. If we can help Mexico get back on their feet, especially with legalizing weed and stuff like that, and send more people back down there where they won't be crossing the border, that's less trafficking. Now, people might think that we are crazy for even thinking like that. You're like, hey man, that's not right. You shouldn't think like that. But hey, I'm just saying this is a possibility. It does happen. It's definitely on the radar.
Here for commercial permits than anywhere else in the country. Daniel Ramirez, an agro-engineer and grower, has lobbied the government to provide the licenses. He thinks he knows why it won't.
It's a plant that's been vilified, a taboo. Our president doesn't want to be remembered as the one who liberated cannabis use in Mexico.
We reached out to the Mexican government for comment. They didn't want to talk. Meanwhile, in Oaxaca, villages like Huila are waiting.
This community's got big plans when they're finally allowed to commercialize their cannabis. Greenhouses of 1,000 square meters for each producer, and a chance to build the local economy so that there are more jobs here right now.
Every day. And I just, like I said, I just got back into spreading this marijuana news, and I'm telling you, y'all, I do more and more I see out of the country, legalizations and the problem that they're going through, I guarantee is because they see the economic growth and what's happening over here in America. We are the forefront of leading the world in legalization of marijuana. Yes, there's other states that legalize marijuana, but nobody is putting capitalism. Let me say that one more time for people that don't pay attention and be like, I don't like capitalism. Other countries around the world look at us and see us as the capitalism frontier of how to make money off of marijuana and to bring money to their country and to their land and to places that need help. We, United States of America, is the forefront. I promise you that.
Now, a lot of people from this village have to head to the United States to look for work. So there's a lot at stake for them.
Possibly for Mexican patients too. Some doctors believe cannabis could help with anything from cancer relief to epilepsy. People in Huila have been using the plant medically for generations. Whether they'll get the chance to do so commercially is a question for this government. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Huila.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.
Mexico's been grappling for years with how to regulate this, marijuana. It's been illegal for decades while a war against drugs has raged. Now a new law, approved by the Senate, but which still has to go through Congress, proposes legalizing production and consumption with quite a lot of restrictions. Adults would be able to buy up to 28 grams of pot and cultivate 4 plants for personal use. It could also be imported and exported with a license. This grower, now producing illegally, is cautiously optimistic.
I decided to grow because I'm a consumer first, and I think that right now the conditions in which marijuana is produced and distributed in our country is very violent and very corrupt.
And that's the key question. Will legalizing marijuana affect Mexico's cartels and gangs who currently run the business? The common consensus is no. Cannabis production is just a small part of their portfolio, which also includes meth, fentanyl, cocaine, and other rackets like extortion.
Have a look at this. These cannabis plants are actually being grown right in front of Mexico's Senate by marijuana activists who are trying to raise awareness of what's going on. And they have another big question, and it's this: will poorer communities in the rural hills of Mexico that currently grow their crop for the narcos now get the chance to go legal? And on paper, under this law, it seems like they will, because 40% of the licenses to grow marijuana in the first 5 years of legalization are reserved for them.
But in practice, things could work differently in the mountains.
Imminent risk that if you as a local peasant, for instance, say, I will only produce legally now, I want to make a living in illicit and legal terms, that you will not get away with that, because there is a frank power of organized criminal groups in those areas. And the most likely scenario is, unfortunately, that if you have a new lucrative market coming into play, that they will try and probably succeed in getting their hands on the new proceeds, on the new profits.
The fear of marijuana activists is that the law will actually only help international corporations get into the Mexican market and sell to richer, urban consumers, while elsewhere the street corner business continues as normal.
Man, hey, I keep saying it, and I know a lot of other countries, and I'm starting to see that a lot of other countries are growing weed, just like I did know. But I'm still going to put that argument out that best grown weed is still here in America. I'm just going to put that out there, bros. You know what I'm saying? We grow some of the best damn ganja out there. Now, I'm not trying to say there's like that one person out there in Mexico that don't know what he's doing. That one person
High
out
in the
there
hills
in
of
Germany don't know what he's doing. Stop playing. I'm not saying that, because that'd be false claiming. But us as a state, together, unity, man, stop playing. We out here, we doing it. A slow process that's still looking good, that's still breaking waves, that's still, you know what I'm saying, hitting the charts with new innovations, new way of doing things. It's still always going to be a beautiful story. It's still always going to be a beautiful way to come along. I am fin to play this story one more time. I played it once before. I'm going to play it again just because this story is definitely alarming and outrageously considered, needs to be looked upon. It doesn't have nothing to do with marijuana, but it just has to do with cameras in front of your door. This is a very important story to me. Here we go.
A Tampa man accused of pumping opioids into a neighbor's apartment, sickening a baby. Now he's facing several felonies. Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette Levy. This story takes complaints about noise between neighbors to a completely different level. A man named Umar Abdullah and his family moved into a condo complex in June of last year. Then his downstairs neighbor, Zhu Ming Li, started complaining about noise. Abdullah's camera captured Li kneeling down at his front door and putting something under the door. Abdullah installed the camera in a plant after his family, including the newborn baby, became ill several times and they couldn't figure out why. Let's take a look at that video again. You see Lee kneel down and appear to squeeze something, and then he leaves. Tampa police say Lee was pumping opioids, hydrocodone, and methadone into the apartment. How was he doing it? Lee was a chemistry PhD student, so that may explain how he was able to concoct this deadly mixture. Right now, Lee is free on bond, but faces charges, including battery and aggravated stalking. He'll be back in court in December. His
Aggravating
lawyer told a
stalking?
Tampa TV station that all of the facts would come out later in court. For Law and Crime, I'm Anjanette Levy.
Okay, y'all. I covered the story other day, actually the news when they had covered it, and that should be freaking attempted murder. That should be attempted murder. You attempted to try to kill and destroy somebody like that's hey, y'all might say that I'm harsh, I might say that I'm shallow, but that needs to be attempted murder. Okay. And I don't apologize for saying that. I'm just saying you see for yourself as I'm playing it one more time on the small screen. The guy comes up, puts a needle in a door. He's tempting to kill them for the simple fact that he didn't like that the people above him had a baby. Okay? That's what's going on out here. That's why I played that, so y'all can really be careful and watch y'all cameras.
स्टडी IQ IAS अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
तो
जो कैनाबिस मिर्जाना या जिसे गांजे के नाम से जाना जाता है, भारत में यूज किए जाने वाला मोस्ट पॉपुलर इलीगल ड्रग है। गवर्नमेंट डेटा के अकॉर्डिंग भारत की 2.83% पॉपुलेशन यानी कि अराउंड 31 मिलियन इंडियंस जिनकी उम्र 10 से 75 साल के बीच है, कैनाबिस प्रोडक्ट्स कंज्यूम करते हैं। वहीं एक जर्मनी स्टडी बताती है कि आज दिल्ली और मुंबई वर्ल्ड की 3rd और 6th लार्जेस्ट कैनाबिस कंज्यूम करने वाली सिटीज हैं। हालांकि कुछ इंडिपेंडेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का मानना है कि ये डेटा आउटडेटेड है और रियलिटी में आज इंडिया में
They talk hella fast, but obviously they don't have marijuana legal out there. They're trying to
से
legalize
कई गुना
marijuana.
ज्यादा कैनाबिस का कंजम्पशन कर रहे हैं। खासकर पिछले कुछ वर्षों में इंडियन यूथ में इस इलीगल ड्रग का इस्तेमाल काफी ज्यादा बढ़ गया है। लेकिन कैनाबिस कंजम्पशन भारत के लिए कोई नई बात नहीं है। असल में इंडियंस कैनाबिस प्रोडक्ट्स को 4000 वर्ष से भी पहले से इस्तेमाल करते आ रहे हैं।
Woo! Okay, y'all. Basically, 400. They've been smoking weed out there for over 5,000 years. 5,000 years ago. I'm saying 4. Well, I keep saying 5. It says 4, but you get it. I'm not finna go. I thought we can watch that video, but shh. Was it getting harder and harder? It was getting harder and harder. Cannabis scheduling, past, present, and future. It's like the ones that I'll be reading are like be super, super long. Cooking with grass. There you go.
You've heard the expression cooking with gas. Luke Burbank introduces us to some folks cooking with grass.
Welcome to High Cuisine, the world's largest cooking competition show.
If you've turned on the TV lately, or maybe found yourself in a certain high-end kitchen somewhere in America, you might have noticed a new green on the menu, one you might even be able to smell before you taste it.
There is a revolution taking the cooking world by storm because of this star ingredient. Pot, weed, chronic.
Now that cannabis is legal in some form or another in more than half of the states, some of its top chefs are finding ways to integrate it into their recipes. Suffice it to say, the pot brownie has come a long way.
There is such a huge bridge from the brownie to where we are today. We're cooking racks of lamb, we're making intricate desserts, we're doing 10-course tasting menus that are strain specific. Now there's different levels of extractions and distillates that you can use in order to achieve the effect without the flavor or with the flavor.
Chef Miguel Trinidad is known for his time on the Vice show Bon Appetit. These days he hosts semi-clandestine, semi-legal pop-up dinners through his company 99.
Semi-legal. Gotta pay attention to that. Gotta be careful. Gotta watch it. Which I think is cool. My cousin went down south somewhere, I think Texas or New Orleans, somewhere down south. I apologize, I don't remember and disrespecting your state, but your state did. One of those states down there did have some good cooking. It was cannabis. They went down there just to try it out, and they said it was good and bomb. I've been infusing food, heavy full course food since 2015. Me personally, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing it. It's a wonderful, good taste. It's a good feeling. It does make the food sit a little bit heavier on the body. So it makes you consume it a lot better and a lot easier.
Ninth floor. Dinners in which everything is infused.
Where actually is the cannabis?
It's in many different stages. In the demi for the steak, we took some of the beef fat and infused that and then put that back into the demi. Here's some cannabis butter. This has been cooked extremely low temperature for a long time because I wanted to draw out a lot of the terpenes without making it taste too weedy.
Terpenes are the chemical compounds in cannabis that give it that characteristic funky smell and taste, and can make it a challenge to cook with. Even for noted Portland cookbook author Lori Wolf.
Learning how to cook with it is kind of learning how to cook with a really dreadful tasting spice.
Wolf has written 5 cookbooks on the subject, earning her the title back in 2017 of the Martha Stewart of edibles. When Wolf and other chefs cook with cannabis, they say the key is to be extremely precise with the dosage going into, say, a butter board that's actually made with canna butter.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And Wolf says the key when eating infused food is to be very patient in waiting for the effects to set in, lest you go on a trip you didn't mean to buy a ticket for.
Because it can even take 3 hours on occasion, depending on when you've eaten, what your metabolism is like.
For me, it's about the delicious meal, and the cannabis is like extra.
Back in Brooklyn, Tiffany Spann is attending her second 99th floor cannabis dinner in 2 weeks, which she'd found out about on Instagram, naturally.
Can you feel the vibe shift as the night goes on and people are starting to enjoy
People
themselves?
talk to each other. Like everyone started loosening up because I could see the whole table. So yeah, people do start to get louder and happier.
Yeah.
As the night.
Hey, y'all, we might have to take a trip out there. Burn Live might have to take a trip out there to Brooklyn and go check that out, y'all. If y'all would like Burn Live to take a trip out there to one of these cannabis places, cannabis mills, and sit down and see if we can get a live interview, please hit the like button, subscribe button, put a comment down. Please do something. I know this probably ain't some of the best video ever, but I'm trying my best. You know what I'm saying? Low budget. I do everything myself.
War on, Chef Trinidad's dinner moved into full swing. A parade of sumptuous plates were served. The music of Wu-Tang
and finding
Clan
stories,
bumped
but
through
this
the
is
speakers.
beautiful. This is nice.
Truly
this
was
is what
a meal for both the body.
Now this is what I be looking for as like when I'm going out, because I be like, I tell everybody I don't go out because of places
And
like this.
soul.
It's not everywhere. Now you're gonna expect to have a nice, pretty nice, expensive plate. Your plate's gonna cost you a pretty penny, and respectively. You know, you gotta expect that. If you don't expect that, then you tripping. I expect my plate to be a little expensive, maybe $60 plate, because of the details and the extra cooking and the time that it took to make the food right. You see what I'm saying? You kind of gotta expect that. And if you don't, then you really is not taking the time out to appreciate, because you really just going for the highs and hoping that you get the high effect. Not the taste, not as good, as scrumptious, as too strong. Can you still taste the other flavors that he put into the meat or the potatoes or the butter? You see what I'm saying? It's really about that too. And that's one thing I appreciate when I was cooking for myself, is that it wasn't too strong. It was just right. You still had that effect, that hit you a little bit later on. It wasn't too strong. It wasn't out of the ordinary. That's what you're looking for. Well, damn. We got to play this.
This is Kendall Martin. I'm serving 60.
We got to play this. This is something that I can't believe I just seen. Is it really going down like that? Is that really going down?
Years mandatory for possession of marijuana in Mississippi. I've been in prison going on right now 8 years and 6 months, 7 months. Don't make no sense for real. I don't know how to explain it. It really just don't make no sense if they making money off of it. I don't see why they have anyone incarcerated.
So he spent 60 years in prison for what?
This is Kendall Martin. I'm serving 60 years mandatory for possession of marijuana.
How much marijuana did you possess? See, that matters, yo. He was like, I don't know why I got 60. Well, okay, 60 years is a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's more than life, because life was 40 years to life. So, yeah, that's pretty doggone expensive. He probably doesn't deserve that. I don't give you that. But there's probably more to that story than meets the eye. You just not finna put somebody in jail for 60 years unless he did some other crimes to go with that. Stop playing with me. You're not gonna play with me. No games with me like that. What's going on here, y'all?
A vape business is suing the Lancaster County District Attorney after the County Drug Task Force seized tens of thousands of dollars in THC-laced products back in April. Fox 43's Harry Lee explains how the lawsuit could help clarify whether hemp products, including Delta 8, are legal or not.
In June, the Lancaster County Drug Task Force announced a crackdown on shops selling Delta 8 and Delta 10, cannabinoids that are widely available but illegal under some interpretations of state law.
These products are not only illegal, but they are also not subject to any regulation and therefore could be very dangerous.
Part of the crackdown.
I remember a friend was saying she was taking Delta 8. So I'm not too familiar with Delta 8, but Delta 8 sounds like more of like, remember when y'all was hitting a 2K, the synthetic weed that people was that fake weed people was smoking on? That sound like this is more under that category. I've been hearing a lot of stories about this. I actually know somebody that was smoking. I don't know if they're still smoking it. I hope they're not. But yeah.
Involved seizing nearly $300,000 worth of product from 25 stores throughout Lancaster County. Now, one of those stores is fighting back. Smooth Vape, a Lebanon County-based chain with a location in East Lampeter Township that was raided in April, filed a lawsuit against the Lancaster County District Attorney.
These products are expressly recognized as legal under Pennsylvania law for years. These products have been sold openly. I mean, this came as a complete surprise to my clients and I imagine to everybody else in the county who was raided.
Cannabis law experts say THC derived from hemp falls in a legal gray area.
Pennsylvania hasn't specifically addressed it. Delta 8, Delta 10, Delta 6 products.
Hemp and its derivatives are federally legal, but these products contain THC at levels far higher than are naturally found in hemp. Attorneys say the outcome of the lawsuit could have far-reaching consequences.
A lot of the stores that operate.
Like I said, I never smoked Delta. But I'm curious of its effects on the body. I'm actually curious of the THC levels that is so-called puts out, because I don't know. And it makes it more curious. And I'm curious. If somebody do have it, I will please put in the comments what's the effect, how does it make you feel and stuff like that, and just let me know, because I don't know. Haven't had it before. Yeah, I'm feeling this new comeback of people enjoying the new marijuana news that we bringing them. I hope that y'all appreciate it. Like, damn, man, Burn Live is back. He actually doing marijuana news and stories. Yes, I'm doing marijuana news and stories for a whole hour. I'm making sure that it's a full hour that we do cover this and we do break things down and we talk about things that are important. And we talk about, and then for the second hour, I do get into my favorite topics, political. I know that y'all get away from the political things. Y'all don't not like talking about political things. But if I'm going to talk about political marijuana situations, I'm on where talk about political too. I mean, I love both things to talk about. Can always talk about it. Put some things down in the comments if you have anything that you want to discuss. I do have a person that want to discuss about United States of America versus United, what is it called? United Republicans. I do understand that. Arkansas, top of the news story. Let's see what this is right here, y'all.
This is behind the improvement and what some say they could do better.
Many Americans wrapping up their summer vacations are already planning a new trip. I'm Wendy Gillette with a forecast for an upsurge in travel this fall.
A Colombian queen is set to be honored at MTV's upcoming VMAs. We have the details in our entertainment headlines at 12:22. More on all of that very soon, but first we have meteorologist Tom Brennan in for Nathan Scott this noon hour. Tom,
Yes, sir.
I am so happy to be with you, and I'm happy.
Things they attribute to the declining crime rates. Violent crime also down by 145 instances. In a statement, Little Rock,
Hold on.
55% from
crime this afternoon. CHP psychedelic mushrooms, 1 pound of marijuana, 30.
There we go.
Authorities arrested her.
I do it's a marijuana story somewhere up in this mother.
All right, thank you, Tom. A woman in Searcy is behind bars this morning or afternoon, charging the fentanyl overdose death of a Kensett man. 32-year-old Sarah Nicole Allison is suspected of selling him the drugs. Authorities arrested her, which led to the discovery of a second suspect. They then searched the person's home and found 160 fentanyl pills, a pound of psychedelic mushrooms, 1 pound of marijuana, 34 Xanax pills, and several ecstasy pills. We are almost 3/4 through the year, and the Little Rock Police Department has seen a significant decrease of homicides and violent crime.
That's good. But we gonna go back to Miss Crime Betsy over here. I'm finna put her face back up on the screen. Well, this is the reason why that guy that we played earlier got 60 years probably for marijuana, because he probably had more than just marijuana on him. I'm just saying, I'm not reporting it. I don't know. I'm not no judge. I'm not there. I don't know his case. I don't know who he is, but I'm just saying, when you have cases like this right here, this is what gonna add up them extra years on to your sentence. Just want you to know. Yeah, I still got 15 more minutes that I'm gonna keep this on a marijuana tip where we head on over into things to the political aspect. Told myself I was gonna do it. And plus, I didn't start till like 15 minutes after I had a meeting call I had to go to and I had to break down, so therefore I had to wait. Ooh, nightclubs. Definitely want to hear
Learning more
this.
about a drug bust at a private Salt Lake City nightclub.
We're going to go out to Scott McCain. He joins us live with how it's part of a larger investigation. Scott, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We're talking about a summer-long series of undercover operations here. And this is in response to all kinds of violent episodes that had happened stemming from the club behind us, the Old New Yorker, very prominent upscale dinner club. Well, it has been the scene of private parties, and there have been fights, stabbings, and shootings. And so Salt Lake City Police, after that summer-long series of investigations, they went into this street, basically shut the entire street down in the early morning hours of Saturday to conduct a series of raids. They were also working with the Salt Lake Fire Department. They found a fire code violation while police were executing that search warrant and basically shut that building down. Meanwhile, police seizing 4 firearms, more than 100 bottles of alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, and cash. In the meantime, two 24-year-olds were booked into the Salt Lake County Jail on a variety of.
So when these people get locked up, and you know they be like, man, I was just locked up for just weed, man. It was just nah, bro. You was supplying a nightclub full of drugs to people, and I've been in the club life since I was 16 years old. I'm not finna get into deep details into that. That's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? But I've been into the nightclub since I was 16 years old. Okay, 16 years old. Understand how the club works. Understand how it runs. How you want to try to control. How you want everybody happy. How everybody want everybody sitting there chilling. Do understand.
Gun and drug distribution charges. All of this is part of a larger investigation following several
I don't want to see you
shootings,
locked up and say, hey, man, I was locked up for
huge
weed
fights
charges,
that
bro.
occurred at various
Don't want to see
points
that.
throughout the summer.
Don't
Police say
want to
they've
see
had
that.
officers patrolling the area in an increased effort ever since the early part of June in response to all those violent episodes. They say they arrested 15 people during the initial part of this investigation, and also seizing 6 additional firearms, marijuana, cocaine, and conducted more than 30 traffic stops. People leaving the area either speeding and or potentially intoxicated. All of that happening in just over 1 month in the middle part of this summer. This was a very busy spot. Police knew they had to do something, so they moved in. Now they report since their increased suppression efforts, there have not been any aggravated assaults or shootings or stabbings, and so far they're chalking this up as a success. It was very frustrating for a lot of folks in this area for a while, but police say they responded appropriately and took the measures needed to quiet things down. For now, we're live in Salt Lake City. Scott McCain, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Nah, damn right. Now I bet you people like, hey man, when you get locked up, bro, when you get locked up, they should get locked up and get charged for everything but the marijuana charges. I know that's how some people are looking at that. Like, man, they should get charged for no marijuana, nothing. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna have to say that's a bunch of bullshit. You got locked up for all of that, so therefore should the marijuana charges boost up just like the cocaine charges? Because you had cocaine, you had probably everything. Nah, that's a good question, and I think people should, you know what I'm saying, really think about that. And I know a lot of people like, no, man, they shouldn't get hit with nothing. Really? Nothing? Nothing at all. They was just up there doing their job, just handling their business. You know what I'm saying? And we just, give me the cocaine, give me the pills, give me the gun charge. Which, you know what I'm saying, I bet you people like, man, that's bad enough. The gun charge plus the bullets. I'll give you that. And I'll give you that. And I understand that. And I can see you eye to eye on that one. Fully. But yet again, is you really going to say that he should get no marijuana charge when he was definitely... That's trafficking? Isn't that trafficking? I think that's trafficking. But yeah, hey, y'all probably want to tell me one thing, y'all tell me another. This hurricane that hit Florida is seeming very dangerous and very windy. I am finna go to I think this is live coverage. I am finna go to live coverage of it for real, just so people can. I think this is important for me to at least cover just a little bit of it. I haven't covered it yesterday. And another thing, I felt kind of bad not covering it because it's still news, just for people to see, because not everybody really be knowing what's going on. Oh, there we go. I like this view sometimes, y'all. We don't do this view. But I am going to just cover this just a little bit.
Mayor of Clearwater, Florida, Brian Ong Sr. joins us now with more on how the storm is impacting his city. Mayor Unks, thanks for joining us. Tell us how Clearwater's doing right now. What are the concerns that remain for you?
Did relatively well. We had about a 5-foot storm surge. The high tide was 11:29. We had a little bit of a surge then, but the waters are receding. North and South Clearwater Beach are still underwater. We had a lot of homes with water intrusion. We've had no severe emergencies that we are aware of as of right now. Like the governor said, there have been no fatalities reported. So we are still telling people, though, to stay out of the standing water. You don't know if there's a down power line or underground power line that's been exposed. You don't know what's in that water, and to remain home until you see the all clear via the media.
I can hear, it sounds like just a little bit of relief in your voice, Mayor, even though there are still threats that are outstanding. I know that you spoke with Governor Ron DeSantis this morning. What did you discuss on that call?
Well, the governor wanted to have, there was bridges that were closed and streets that were closed underwater in the beach, and he just wanted to know if we needed any immediate help. I said no, but thank you, and we will be in touch. So he was checking in just to make sure everything was as good as it could be.
Speaking of those bridges, anybody who knows Clearwater knows that there are those long bridges that connect Clearwater to central Tampa. Are there additional risks for those bridges for any of the transportation given this 5-foot storm surge?
They are, because as the water recedes on the beach, I'm told it will now then surge up Tampa Bay. So I don't think we've seen the end of the surge up Tampa Bay, according to our local experts. So people still need to be wary of that. The one of the lanes on the causeway, Route 62 Tampa, the northernmost bridge and interconnection, is closed. So I don't think anyone should be going out there on those right now anytime soon. Let us get through today, get through the surge on the bay, and we'll see how things are tomorrow.
Well, I understand that the Tampa airport is going to be reopening at least partially at 4 o'clock. We know that all of that there in Clearwater is an indication of the progress that you guys have made. As we've learned that the assessments have already begun, do you have any concept right now about the cost of repairing your city?
We don't as of right now. Most of the damage is going to be the water intrusion. The winds were less than 40 miles per hour sustained. The largest wind gust I'm understanding was 49 miles per hour. We were very, very fortunate. The good news is that a lot of people did take this seriously, and they did leave the zone A that we asked them to do, a mandatory evacuation, because we learned our lesson from what happened last year with Ian in Fort Myers and Sanibel, and what devastation that caused. So that was good news. The damage assessment, once the water recedes, we'll get it better. By the end of the week, we should have a pretty good idea. But right now, no, we do not have that.
Well, we are glad for the positive news that has come to Clearwater. Mayor Brian Unks Sr., thank you.
Thank you.
We are continuing to track Hurricane Idalia. Ahead, we're going to check in on the scene in Jacksonville, Florida. Stay with us. You're streaming CBS News.
It's a history-making meeting. 4 extraordinary women who are all 4-star generals and admirals.
How did you deal with being discriminated against?
I just worked harder. The future of an ever-evolving U.S. military when we go person to person.
Stories start with the who, what, when, and where. CBS News has been
Tonight, growing calls by retailers and law enforcement to stop this from just going on, letting shoplifters and those involved in organized retail crime get off the hook with it.
Over the weekend, a major department store had become a fixture in San Francisco, but it closed its doors for good, with warnings there could be more to come. National correspondent Christine Frizzell reports.
Retailers say it's happening more and more. Pre-planned violent crimes by large groups of people inside stores, in this case, a Macy's in Sherman Oaks, California. But smash and grabs, often organized by so-called flash mobs and then caught on camera, are becoming part of the equation in many cities. City landscapes transformed as stores like San Francisco's Nordstrom flagship have now shuttered. And Dick's Sporting Goods just reported that despite a 3.6% increase in sales, profits have dropped 23%, due in large part, Dick says, to elevated inventory shrink. It's a term used to describe the loss of inventory from shoplifting, damage, or missing merchandise.
Historically, the majority of a retailer's losses come in the form of theft.
The National Retail Federation now warning of the overall impact on society.
The community is going to be impacted when we see jobs lost because of closures, lost tax revenue to the community. That bleeds into the community's ability to provide health and human services and community service to their citizens.
Retailers joining law enforcement experts in calling for tougher penalties for criminals. With many laws rolled back in recent years, previous felony crimes now misdemeanors or crimes not prosecuted at all.
The message should not be, well, we don't want to change the laws and make them stricter because we don't want more Black and brown people incarcerated. The message should be, stop committing crime. Stop shoplifting.
The National Retail Federation is supporting new bipartisan legislation meant to crack down on organized.
I like what she said. She said it the best. She said it the best. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go back to her. Yeah, she is a hero. Why ain't nobody covering hair? I hope somebody else cover her when I do another story later on. What's going on is cover what she said. She said it the best way.
The message should not be, well, we don't want to change the laws and make them stricter because we don't want more Black and brown people incarcerated. The message should be, stop committing crime. Stop shoplifting.
The National Retail Federation is supporting new bipartisan legislation meant to crack.
Stop doing crime. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't understand how this works, and I do understand, a lot of people don't understand how it works, and some people, y'all don't care. It's like, man, I'm just about smoking my weed. I want to chill. Like, man, I'm not trying to hurt none of that. Bros, when other people commit crimes, thefts of this magnitude, you give retail shops the audacity to raise prices over 500% increase on the prices of the stuff that they lose. I know that does not make sense, but it makes sense making sure that they get their money back, meaning they make sure that when the people that want to pay for things, people that want to do the right thing, people that want to buy things in store, we have to pay not double, not triple, but quadruple the price of one product to make up for theft and thieveries and people that are stealing. That is a problem. That's what we're talking about when we saying we want you to stop stealing. It'd be nice if you stop stealing. Nice, beautiful, magnificent.
Crack down on organized retail crime, a phenomenon that's already threatened the safety and security of employees and consumers and has led to a shocking $100 billion in losses. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
You'd be like, I want a job.
You've seen the videos of brazen smash and grabs like these, often carried out in broad daylight.
It's an absolute threat.
A Chicago area Louis Vuitton.
But then the mayor up there, which I done played plenty of videos because my boy's always covering it. Black conservative is always covering. The mayor doesn't want to incarcerate these people. These people don't deserve to get locked up. Something's wrong with them. The justice system has done them wrong. Them just kids out there. How can we sit up here and really say that these are just kids out here stealing when it's a really, for real, let's be honest, I guarantee you it's a mixed crowd.
Tonight,
It's a
growing
mix
calls by
of people out there that's doing that. That is not cool. That is not straight. That's not safe. That's not what you want. That's not how that should be looking. Come on, people. Is this really what type of news that we need to be discovering? That, hey, they stealing, it's okay. We're not going to punish them. But the people that actually want to buy the stuff, we're going to punish them by charging them. And what are they going to do? Because the only thing we're going to tell them is we're overcharging you because the people are stealing. That's literally what's going on. Okay? That's literally what's going on. I did put in a title. I did want to cover this because I did have this story up here.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Everybody know the Joe Rogan Experience. But our Oliver Anthony has blown up. He has blown up. And I haven't, Richmond, North of Richmond, I actually played a song myself. Actually do. I did want to play this interview for you, so I guess I should play the song. Y'all think I should play the song? I should play the song first? Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna play the song first. So y'all see who, cause this is who he interviewed, and I was like, oh, that's dope, you know what I'm saying? And I like this song. I actually play this song. I listen to the song every day.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame
Beautiful song.
what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, 'cause the rich men.
Now, like I said, I like this song, but the second verse is really, really, really the punch in the gut to America society or to the government people who feel some type of way about things that have been going on. You know the movie Freedom that just came out that was talking about the kids trafficking. I know y'all heard the story. Oh man, they're talking about something that's not really true, that's not happening. And yes, this really happened. It's a true story. And people need to wake up that this is going on. I did a story about Oklahoma, and they're going through one of these damn problems. But like I said, this second verse right here is the nail in the coffin of how we look at America and what's going on. And then the government wants to say something different.
I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is.
That hit America in the heart, in the guts. Politicians everywhere woke up and was like, what in the world is going on? So he blew up. I think it was like 40 million views in a day or a week or something. It was real fast, one of the fastest growing situations ever to be done from somebody without a record deal. And he finally went on the Jeff Rogen show. And I wanted to hear this interview, but I wanted
The Joe
to wait
Rogan Experience.
to.
And you're going to have
give
to
this
deal
guy
with that
some
soon.
tries.
Because I guarantee you there's going to be some people that are making some CGI.
Oh, there are.
AI.
There already
they out
are.
there?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
What is that? I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with a lot just because, I'm doing. So anything social media related right now, or any internet presence I have right now is coming from me off the phone, just like before everything blew up. So I haven't invested the time to like look at everything circulating, but people like friends and family have sent me stuff, and some of it's pretty funny, but they've got all these different AI remixes of the song with different voices and overlaid different faces and all, and it's funny to see where it's going to go,
That is funny. Yeah, you're going to have to deal with that. My daughter sent me some advertisement. She goes, "Did you do this advertisement?" I'm like, "Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not really my voice."
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it is my
the
voice.
day after the day after things blew up, one of the towing companies had an ad on Facebook that had it wasn't really me, but it was a red beard and like the side profile of sunglasses looking out the window. I'm like, okay,
how dare
I guess
you?
I've made it anyway. That's when I realized like people are already ripping things off. And what's crazy is like every shirt that I've worn anywhere in public, there's a organization that I'm not like officially related to or in any way have done anything with, but it's a friend of a friend in the neighborhood. It's called Nets with Vets, and they take out veterans with PTSD and let them go deep sea fishing. And so he asked me last minute just to wear his shirt at one of the concerts. And do you know now there's like 1,500 listings online for counterfeit Nets with Vets shirts? And so the organization reached out like, "Hey, are you like making shirts, ripping us off?" And I said, it's like, it's not me. So it's like, it's a weird thing. But yeah, I've already experienced a lot of that stuff. Not so much on the AI side, but just, I don't know, the internet's just such a rowdy place,
Oh, it's so rowdy. The world's a rowdy place.
It is, and maybe people bring their best and their worst on the internet. Like I've always tried to stay off social media as much as possible, but I've learned very quickly that like Twitter and Facebook and stuff like you see comments and feedback from people, both overwhelmingly positive that maybe you wouldn't get in a personal conversation, but also like overwhelmingly negative too.
Yeah.
People just use that as a vent. They just take whatever seething hatred they have inside of them. They're like, "Oh, I'm getting that guy with it,"
If you had a song just about love that resonated like that, it would be almost impossible to hate you. But you have a song where you're talking about how people are fed up with shit, and it obviously resonated. I mean, I've seen songs go viral, but that's pretty bananas, son. Your shit went to the moon right away. And
second verse is one of the, and like I said, I love talking about politicians. I love getting into deep conversations, and anybody ever want to come onto the show and have a deep conversation, sit down on a couch and have one of those conversations, I highly appreciate it. But that conversation, that song, people like Vicky Ramaswamy needs to happen here in America. It needs to go down. It needs to be said. It needs to be spoken. This conversation needs to happen. That song needs to be made for people to start seeing like, hey, am I proud of where I'm at? Am I proud of America? Am I proud of America? 'Cause you might not be proud of America. And then if you're not proud of America, then I'll be like, okay, then it makes sense. And I spelled Joe Rogan name wrong. I'm sorry, Joe Rogan. He probably like, man, yes, I spelled his name wrong. I spelled it wrong. My bad.
God, I'm not sure who sent it to me. I'll have to find out who sent it to me. Because it's one of those things where, like, once one person sent it to me, then it was like dozens of people were sending it to me.
It's funny because originally that song wasn't in my. It wasn't really even in my top 5. Like, it's not normally the type of song. I've written songs with similar messages, but as far as that sort of, like, I guess anthem format is what people are calling it. It's like an anthem. Like, that's not something I would normally write. But
man, I listen to that song every day I go to work. Right before I go into work, I gotta hear that song because it's so powerful. And y'all know I got a big group of people that I sit in a job, and I love my job because it's very diverse, and I get to sit and I can discuss these topics and subjects that's on here with people. So yes, I listen to this song.
But it's an unlikely anthem.
It is.
You know, insane times. It would be an unlikely anthem.
Yeah, I had no idea that song would react the way it did. At least in my case, I think the one thing that's helped me too is that my singing isn't the best, but I've never had any like vocal lessons or anything. So the way I sing is just the way I sing. And so, like, I think even the same way with her and other people, it's like, it's maybe rough around the edges. It could be a little pitchy, or it's, you're not using the right part of your face when you project and whatever. And so, like, on paper, things aren't quite right, but I guess to another human, it's like, it sounds right because it is what it is,
It's authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any right way to do anything. I mean, it's like you see it in everything. There's a person who violates the rules, and they're the best at it.
and then the rules almost morph into whatever that is. Like, it's funny, like with music. Yeah, music has, country in particular, but music in general has gotten way too wrapped up in like this algorithm of how many beats per minute it needs to have, and how many verses, and how they need to be layered. And it's like they've almost created this sort of like industry standard, like OSHA rule book of how music needs to be performed. And so, like, you can only do that so many thousands of times before people are like, okay, what else is there,
Well, people like that too. That's the thing. There's a lot of damn people. There's a lot of people. The problem, I think, with a lot of people is they want you to like what they like.
The weird part about it is you got this going on, and I can't, y'all know I can't go too far deep into the interview like I would like to. I think I will be coming back to the interview later on when I talk about other subjects, because it's gonna make me bring this back up. But to get on into other news real quick, and just to move along real fast, you have this song resonating. You have Trump going to jail. You have Joe Biden's son, who's under investigation, who makes the president under investigation. You have Hawaii, that's tragedy, that's under investigation. You have the hurricane that's in Florida that's happening. You have a lot of things that's going on right now. You got Vicky Ramaswamy that's making airwaves and causing conflicts and good conversation for us to make for people that are content creators to make content. I think I'm not a content creator. I think I take the shortcut of taking other people's content, which I'm not trying to take other people's content. I'm more likely I'm trying to share other people's content because they have the same ideology as me. I also be trying to look up certain people because they have the same thought process as me and other things. But not only just that, they're the same color as me too. So therefore, people can say, "Man, you always going to them white people." And because I like white people. I love black people. I love Asian people. I love everybody. But to get resource and information from my same people and bring y'all, you can't say there's no true favoritism that's going on and be going around. So, without further ado, this story right here is interesting because it is about Trump, and I'm just like, What is going on? What is the black community doing again, man? Hold on. I went to the wrong one. I went to the wrong one. Now, all of a sudden, y'all, that I've been doing these 2-hour shows, the internet wants to start acting funny and stuff with me and stuff like that. Y'all notice that? Like, man, we be doing an hour, be cool. But now that they know I be doing 2 hours and I really be actually talking about some things, now it really be want to act funny with me. That's crazy. But I'm not going to let it stop me. I appreciate people tuning in. And we got our friend back. So let's see what people are talking about.
You guys, so make sure you stick around after this first clip. You're definitely going to enjoy those. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. If you would like to help me out with this YouTube algorithm too, watch this video to the very end. It helps out tremendously. And with that being said, let's dive in.
It's your boy Barry, aka Big O, and I'm the host and the judge of today's rap battle between Trump the Don and my good friend Biden.
Hey Biden, I know it's on that laptop hiding. You can fool your voters, but half the country, they know you're lying. I'll never go to jail, the DA keep on trying. All the billions you're supplying to Ukraine, people dying. You got blood on your hands, what your puppet masters do. They're coming after me, they should be coming after you. But we know the whole swamp is evil, and that's the truth. You can go and ask Julian Assange for the proof. You said black people who don't vote for you are not black.
Wow. Okay. Was not expecting this rap battle to be so low blowing, and that's what you do in a rap battle. This is what you expect from a rap battle: low blows, facts, things that are going on, things that people know about. So this is shocking. I'm shocked. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Let me start this back over. I wasn't expecting all of this. And then not only are they doing like this, but to have the facts up here with it is
Trump
funny.
the Don and my good friend Biden.
Hey Biden, I know it's on that laptop hiding. You can fool your voters, but half the country, they know you're lying. I'll never go to jail, the DA keep on trying. All the billions you're supplying to Ukraine, people dying. You got blood on your hands, what your puppet masters do. They're coming after me, they should be coming after you. But we know the whole swamp is evil, and that's the truth. You can go and ask Julian Assange for the proof. You said black people who don't vote for you are not black. You locked up tons in the 80s for some crack. A crisis at your border, and of course you turned your back. What happened to forgiving college loans? Come on, Jack. You said you don't support gays a decade ago. Career politicians will say anything for your vote. And
hey, that's a fact. I've got the video footage to prove it. I've got the video footage to prove it. I believe Barack Obama said the same thing. I've got the video footage to prove it. But hey, who am I? Who am I? You know, I'm just the guy who makes videos on the internet from time to time. Don't believe me, okay?
Don't support gays a decade ago. Career politicians will say anything for your vote. At press conferences, you're reading what somebody else wrote. You're controlled by BlackRock and Vanguard like Trudeau. You're white.
Ooh. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been learning for the last couple of weeks about Vanguard and Larry Flint and them and these big high corporate people that's taking over the military and so-called telling Joe Biden what to do and wanted profit in this war. This war may have started off a long time ago during the Obama, when Joe Biden was vice president, with his son and things going on with bad trading. So it's crazy that you see that, man, whoever made this rap battle really took it to the heart.
Wife is not a doctor, but she says she is. Why, Joe? Hey, Joe, who wrote the 94 crime bill? Here's to the most famous president. 3 cheers. Your daughter said you showered with her well into her teen years. Who said Obama was the first?
Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm finna rewind that because I promise y'all be talking about people be pedophiling and pedophiling this, but this motherfucker be pedophiling, and y'all don't say nothing about Joe Biden. And I have said that multiple times because there's just too many evidence out there to say this man be doing this shit.
Hey, Joe, who wrote the 94 crime bill?
Who wrote the 94 crime bill? Look that up, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know that. And I know it's not too late to understand and look up and really understand what type of person that you voted for. Look this up right here. This is the prime example right here. Shout out to this video, man.
Here's to the most famous president. 3 cheers. Your daughter said you showered with her well into her teen years.
Not the head written. You see how deep this video, and that's why I'm like, hold on, maybe if I stop at every low point that's on here, look at the evidence of some foul, disgusting things, and look at the eye contacts of this man looking at his, like, come on, man.
You said Obama was the first well-groomed black man. You eulogized Robert Byrd. Please give up the act, man. Messing with me, you messed up big time. Oh, I can't forget 10% to the big guy.
Oh.
Good luck, Joe. Good luck beating that creepy Joe, sleepy Joe. Can't wait to see what you got.
Come on, Joe.
He ain't coming back.
He trouble. My legs and the kids, they would rub the hair, and Corn Pop was a bad dude. This is my wife, and this is my sister. Hey, how did I get here? What's going on? Ronald Crump. Who am I battling? If you're not black, then you don't vote for me. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Hey, Corn Pop was a bad dude. Why'd you fight?
Hey, people say he was asleep. People say he was asleep.
Come on, man. This is my sister. Hey, how did I get here?
Well, Joe, that was pretty special. Let us know in the comments down below who you think won the rap battle and who you'd like to see next.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad from Joe, but that's how it's really looking for Joe. That's how I see it. That's why I'm playing it for you. You can laugh all you want to, you know what I'm saying? I know it's pretty funny. But yet again, let's hear from the black people.
Facts.
The nominee is Donald J. Trump.
True.
Anybody pretending like they running for office is doing a disservice to this nation, and all they're doing is just dividing the nation even more. None of the motherfuckers running. I don't care how. Look, Vivek is a very articulate guy. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Donald Trump is the only nominee. That's it. That's all. Everybody else wasting time. Stop falling for the and people who talk nice. Stay on the path. Donald Trump is the nominee. Everybody else, got it.
Sorry to say, but I agree.
The only thing, and I'm going to just say it for my listeners, I appreciate people listening, people are watching, I appreciate it. The only thing I would have to say to the Vicky Ramaswamy is the fact that when Pamela first ran for office, she ran to be an Indian, and she gave over 500,000 Indians asylums here in America because India is controlled by China, and they're not liking it over there, and they want freedom over here in America. So then you got Vicky Ramaswamy, who's Indian, who's running for vice president. who people say, and I'm not saying this. I am not saying this. I have no proof of this, but people are saying that he's just a Democrat that's running on the Republican side, and once he get into office, or if he got into office, that he would switch and like, ha ha, I'm a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Harris, whoop whoop whoop, then whatever. And that's what some people believe. And if you believe that, that's why people like, hey, quit the act, quit the funk, quit the faking. Understand that Trump is the guy, man. You know what I'm saying? You can wish, you can hope, you can think that other things is popping. There's nothing else popping. There's nothing else popping out here when it comes to who you should be wanting to vote for, who did the most things and stuff like that. But I'm not here to make nobody vote, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to be smoking weed and chilling and stuff like that and just going through some video. But that's just how people think. That's what people are wanting to see. That's what people wanting to understand. And that's how deep and it done got. That's how really deep it's done got. And if you feel like that way, then hey, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Times are rough, times are hard. Things are not looking as simple as it used to be back in our day. We can all just keep it so real and so 100. Let's see what's more on this video.
You will see Trump 24. Hey, we like you, Ron, but we want Trump. It's Trump's turn. Trump needs to be back in office. We like you, Ron, but maybe in 28, right? This is on his page. These are his supporters and his fans. If they're telling you, then I mean, like, what are you doing at this point? What are you doing? In my humble opinion, if your own supporters on your own page are telling you that, then I feel like there's an agenda being pushed. You know, the elites would rather have Ron DeSantis. The people who should be running this country don't want him. But let's jump back into this clip.
President, I have a question. Look, dog, we can't afford bro. Everything too damn high, bro. We can't afford deodorant, child support, mortgage, rent, nothing, even light bill. What do you plan to do about that?
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America. Made in America. He said it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is. So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway. COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak.
Boy, I can't understand you, boy. Stupid.
It's the dictatorship. We came from China. We know this is the way. This is not like people here don't understand what is the communist is. We know communist is, what communist is. That's why we support Trump.
This is really interesting because I'm also Chinese American myself. So
you haven't lived in China, I guess.
I did. I grew up in China.
Oh,
I grew up in China till I was 17. I'm from Shanghai. But
Shanghai.
Yeah.
From China, we know.
Oh man, I've got another clip. As I always say with these, say it with me, y'all. There's more.
Chinese Americans support Trump. All right. So the reason is the Democrat administration, Biden administration, lead this country towards socialism and eventually towards communist dictatorship. We came from China. We know this.
I watched a podcast this morning, and I guess I'm gonna have to go to it and let you guys hear this man give this beautiful speech and keep it real, because yet again he was in the army, he worked under the Obama administration, and he worked up under the Trump administration, and he's the most feared. I mean, it was a good interview, but feared person that people say don't trust him. Trump ran with him, but Trump trusts him. And this what he's saying with this Asian over here, and you got to watch out for the Chinese and stuff like that. This is very important. This is the thing that I'm starting to see. Like, now I'm starting to put it together. Now I want you guys to see like how this plus everything else that's going on, plus even into the marijuana. Even though people like marijuana is so small, it's not as small as you think when it's actually sitting up here and moving the meter stick of what should be happening. I'm just letting y'all know that it's more to it than just meets the eye. Like I said, marijuana is doing good everywhere. That's a good thing, and it's growing. But then, yet again, where the taxes are going, there's a lot of people that doesn't smoke weed, and for those people, I would like for them to get some little money into it too. The best way that you can invest into it for those people who don't like marijuana is invest into schools. Hey, all dispensaries all over the United States of America should be throwing that taxpayer money into schooling for the youth. Period. Period. Now, some of y'all probably say, no, there's something better can go into. I wanted to go into more better weed and better hospitals. It's enough hospitals. Hospitals get their donations from big leagues and pills and stuff like that. So don't worry about that. They're going to always find their way to make their money. What don't make money and what is unionized and what is suffering is schools. That's one of the biggest things that is suffering here in America. Y'all may not see it like that, but I'm telling you, if you can just take the time out and just see what your school is going through and be like, man, there's a marijuana shop there. If them taxpayer money can just go into it, what all could just be going on? How increasing better schooling, better education, better books, looking for better teachers, better wages, increasing pay. That tax right there recovers so much along. But hey, what do I know? You know, I'm just a guy that's been sitting up here, just been looking at politician stuff for years and years and years. But hear this out.
This is the way. This is not like people here don't understand what is the communist is. We know communist is, what communist is. That's why we support Trump.
This is really interesting because I'm also Chinese American myself. So I
So you haven't lived in China, I guess.
I did. I grew up in China.
Oh, when?
I grew up in China till I was 17. I'm from Shanghai, but
Shanghai.
yeah, I don't want to talk about my opinions because I'm a journalist. So I just want to hear more about your opinions. You know, as immigrants, a lot of people might say that Trump is anti-immigrant, or
Trump is
I heard a guy say a good speech the other day too. People that are into journalism shouldn't vote, and I was like, "That's mean. That's discrediting people as being human beings."
It's not anti-immigrant. It's just against illegal immigrant.
Facts. Facts. Well said. Trump isn't against immigrants. He's against illegal immigrants. Illegal. And that's the thing that I found out, with the media. And, I actually had
Yeah, that's one of the bad things I argue a lot with people. A lot with people is to make them understand the difference between illegal and legal. Ooh, finna throw this marijuana story up in here real quick.
This is just a money-making opportunity for the marijuana industry and just makes it easily more accessible to our families and young people.
We want to regulate marijuana like alcohol, which means you got to be 21 to buy it. You got to be 21 to use it, which means we regulate the entire supply chain from seed to sale.
Voters will decide in November.
This is the part where I argue with a lot of people. You want to regulate it like alcohol, where how many people are actually brewing alcohol in their own homes? Is that legal to brew alcohol in your homes? I don't think it's legal to brew alcohol in your home, if I'm not mistaken. And if it is, then y'all let me know. But if I'm not mistaken, it's not legal to do that in your home. So that's where I'm saying the abuse part is going to come into it, but hopefully it don't. But in other states, it have already shown that it's a highly abusive of it.
On issue 2, it would allow adults 21 years and older to buy and possess up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis. Tom Herron is the spokesperson for the Coalition to Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol. The group submitted hundreds of thousands of signatures to help get the measure on the ballot.
We know that regulated markets are the best way to ensure that marijuana stays out of the hands of kids. Because right now in the illicit market, a drug dealer doesn't check for ID. They don't care who's buying their product. They don't test it to make sure that it's not contaminated with harmful substances.
Herron also points to the added revenue the Buckeye State would gain from the 10% tax that would be imposed on purchases.
What we have tried to do is to implement.
All states got that 10% tax down on it. Peep game. More and more that y'all pay attention, more and more that we see story, every state got that 10%, 13% tax. Some drop down to 8%. You know what I'm saying? So where is that money going? That's a lot of money when you talking about if you're making $700,000, $500,000 within a year. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen, where is that money going?
Implement best practices from half the country that's already come before us and build upon the success of our medical marijuana regulatory framework.
Warren County Sheriff Larry Sims opposes issue 2 and is concerned about children finding ways to access the products.
The number one thing for law enforcement, in my opinion, going into that is putting the marijuana directly in the household, into families.
Sims doesn't believe the legalization would eliminate illegal sales, with the added tax on the product increasing cost and turning people away. He also raises concerns over people using the product and getting behind the wheel.
It certainly would make our job more challenging if this would pass. No question.
We're really looking forward to putting the illicit market out of business this November.
Recreational marijuana has been on the ballot in the Buckeye State before. The measure failed in 2015, but the state legislature approved the drug for medical use in 2016. Tyler Madden, Local 12 News.
All right, Tyler, thank you so much. Ohio voters will also have a say on issue 1 coming up this fall. The measure is looking to enshrine a woman's right to.
I hope they get it. Like I'm gonna start saying on here, as long as the crime rate is not high up there and disgusting looking and stuff like that, then I think everybody deserve to get it. If it's dangerous and it's high, then no. They don't deserve to get it. I'm just going, hey, this is a beautiful state, but some people just, I'm sorry, some people just don't deserve to get it. Because you would deal with way more crime, and then you gonna need to invest in more crime, and then people like gonna want to invest in more. You already got people decreasing crime, defunding police as it is. You already had that going on. We already got people at the White House that don't want to answer questions about Joe Biden. This is weird, since to see that both parties want their president locked up. I don't think too many people. I don't know. I really want to say, but then I'm like, I don't know. I would have to hear other people's opinions and get their ideology without them just, oh, he's this. Like, I need to hear points and strategies and things of what and why you would want certain things to happen. before we just like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm finna jump on this bandwagon. I want this guy in jail. He was this, he was this. I literally had a guy say that Trump said racist things. I was like, what? And he said, oh man, it's a lot. What? A lot of people still went and claimed that he did a lot of racial things. He said a lot of racial things. And the main question is, what?
Is it just easier?
What are these questions that were, or statements that Trump did that were so racist? But then the other question be, why ain't the White House answering questions like this when it comes to questions that the people want to know?
Okay, and it seems like the hurricane response so far is robust. Did you guys realize that the initial Hawaii wildfire response was not that good? Or is it just easier for people to get help from the White House when the president is not on vacation?
So the premise of your question and the way you pose your question, I disagree, just for the record. So if you were to do your reporting and speak to the governor of Hawaii, the senators of Hawaii, the folks on the ground, they would say that the president reacted in record time when it came to dealing with the wildfires, when it came to dealing and making sure that they got everything that they need on the federal level to deal with what was going on the ground. Let's not forget, there were more than 600 federal employees on the ground already to assist with the wildfires in Maui. So your question is wrong, it's flawed in many, many ways, and I would advise you to go speak to the governor and the local and state officials in Hawaii.
You know, critics could read that as if you go talk to the Democratic politicians in the state of Hawaii, they will tell you that the president.
Crazy. So I'm assuming that this hurricane that done came through has swept away a lot of evidence and things that and stuff that they needed in Hawaii to keep up. That's insane. That is insane. That's insane. Y'all, I ain't gonna hold you guys. I would do a lot more reporting. I appreciate y'all hanging through and staying through. Hopefully this was a good show. I do still got to do another test run. Hopefully everything went good. Appreciate it. Y'all take care, y'all. Until next time, y'all have a good day. Peace. Maybe I can't say peace.